My name is Ed Robertson. I play in a band called Barenaked Ladies, and this is ACtv. Funny, I wanted to be in a rock band like since the 5th grade, since I first started playing the guitar and performing songs in front of people. It's the only thing I wanted to do. And then in about the 12th grade, I thought, geez, I should start doing homework, because becoming a successful musician is a very difficult thing to accomplish. So I started doing homework for the first time in my entire school career. I ended up getting a scholarship to Alaska University for marine biology. And at that point, I stopped playing in all these cover bands I'd been playing in, and I started this band that was just for fun, thinking it would never go anywhere. Started writing music with a friend and just playing stuff that we enjoyed. And that was Barenaked Ladies. It was the band that I thought would never go anywhere. We started doing gigs for local food banks and fundraisers and things like that, and that was 22 years ago. Well, when Barenaked Ladies first started recording music, the cutting edge of technology was the player piano. We released our first few songs on paper player piano rolls. So that was a little before the MP3, if you know what I'm saying. Actually, you know, in all fact, we came right around the beginning of the compact disc. I mean, it was sort of right. There were still cassettes were still stocked in stores hugely. So it was like the phasing out of vinyl into compact discs is sort of when we arrived. Our first release was cassette only. So we've seen from cassette and vinyl to the compact disc to, you know, various HD formats of audio. None of them ever really flew. To the MP3, to music being free. Well, you know, everybody loves analog stuff, but the digital realm gives you so much versatility now, and especially with the HD Pro Tools rigs and the like. I mean, you're getting incredible sound, and the added versatility of digital is just, you know, you can't compete with it at all. So we like to do a combination of both. We work with some analog parts, but largely digital for editing purposes, but eventually stuff gets thrown onto 2-inch tape. Yeah, well, you know, I think we were kind of the perpetual underdogs at Barenaked Ladies. You know, we never really garnered mainstream acceptance until 1 week hit. And even then, it was sort of like we were this thing on the periphery that just got huge for 20 minutes, you know? I think we had spent so long working and we had such a big fan base that it wasn't really a flash in the pan for us. You know, we were already 12 years into our career when 1 week hit. So it was this great moment where we enjoyed this increased success, but we were already a career touring band. So we just kind of enjoyed the ride while we were on it, and then we got back to work. We were actually fairly true to the song on our first record, If I Had $1 Million. It was sort of like, you know, not to let that change you. You know, we all did really well. We were really successful. But I live in a pretty normal house, you know. I don't have extravagant cars, that sort of thing. I do have a plane, which is not very normal. But you know, other than that, we're pretty were pretty tame. I didn't do anything incredibly extravagant. Yeah. Yeah, I have a nice cottage on a lake, and I have a nice house in Toronto, but we never really lived the rock star thing. I think we were all conscious that it can go away as fast as it comes, so everybody sort of invested wisely and kept working. Well, aside from having, we're all products of Canadian public school systems, and we had great music teachers and great school music programs. We're all a product of that. We also had supportive parents who allowed us to practice annoying, loud, horrible rock and roll music in their basements and living rooms. And we all had, our teachers, whether it was Rush or the Police or, all these bands that the Talking Heads that taught you what it was like to make rock music. I had great teachers, supportive parents. We were very, very lucky. Yeah, I think the advice I always give young bands is play live, play live, play live, play live. Take every gig you can get and treat every gig like it's going to be your break. Play the best you can, even if it's a crappy gig. You never know who's going to be there, who's going to see you. It might lead to another gig. Do not spend a bunch of money on your first recording. A lot of bands, just the first thing they do, they get together and they go into a studio and they blow all this money on a recording, and then they play 5 more gigs and they think their demo sounds crappy. And it probably does sound crappy because you're a way better band now. Just keep playing live. You need to do some sort of demo to get gigs, but just do it on a laptop. Do something cheap, just so people can hear what your band's like. Keep playing live. Play live as much as possible. And if you want music to be your career, then don't have something to fall back on. Go for it. Give it everything you got. Set yourself time horizons. Like say, okay, for 6 months, I'm going to do it, and reevaluate after that, whether it's 6 months or 10 months, whatever you want to give yourself. University will still be there a year later, Don't be working on plan B while you're trying to commit to plan A. Do plan A, give it 100%. If it doesn't work out, reevaluate, maybe switch gears to plan B, but don't try to do both at once. Nobody ever says, when you say, I want to be a doctor, you don't hear parents saying, well, you should do a drama degree at the same time because, med school is hard. Med school is hard. Being in a rock band's hard, but you got to commit. Well, thanks for listening. This has been Ed Robertson for ACtv, and you can see me at barenakedladies.com or BNL Music or anywhere out on the road because I'm on tour all the time. Sorry, my face is a laugh at you, and you missed the judgment I let you